Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there lived a gentle giant named Gus. Gus was the tallest creature in the world, with arms that could stretch across valleys and legs that could cross rivers in a single step. Despite his size, Gus was known for his kind heart. He loved the beauty of nature and spent his days wandering through the forests, admiring the trees, mountains, and clouds. One day, as Gus was walking through a meadow, he noticed something he had never seen before. Down by his feet, hidden among the grass, was the tiniest flower he had ever seen. Its petals were delicate and colorful, but it was so small that it was easy to miss. Curious, Gus knelt down to take a closer look. "Hello, little flower," he said softly. "What are you doing all the way down here?" The tiny flower swayed gently in the breeze. "I may be small, but I still add beauty to the meadow," the flower replied in a tiny voice. "Even the smallest things can make a big difference." Gus smiled at the flower's words. "You're right," he said, "but it must be hard for you to grow so close to the ground. Don't you wish you were bigger, like the trees and the flowers that grow tall?" The little flower shook its petals. "Oh no, I'm happy just the way I am. I don't need to be big to make an impact. Sometimes the smallest things are the most special." Gus was touched by the flower's wisdom. He had always thought that being big and strong was what made someone important, but now he realized that even the smallest creatures had their own unique beauty and purpose. Every day after that, Gus would visit the tiny flower. He would sit beside it, careful not to crush the grass, and listen to the flower's stories about the birds, bees, and the world seen from its tiny perspective. Gus learned so much from the flower about patience, kindness, and the beauty of seeing things from a different point of view. As time passed, Gus noticed that the tiny flower was making the meadow more beautiful. Even though it was small, its colors attracted the bees, butterflies, and other creatures of the meadow. They came to visit the flower, and soon the meadow was buzzing with life. One morning, Gus noticed something magical. The tiny flower had spread its seeds, and now, all around the meadow, new tiny flowers were beginning to bloom. The meadow was now filled with bright, colorful flowers, all thanks to the little flower that had believed in its own beauty. Gus smiled as he realized something important. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. What matters is the impact you have on the world around you. The little flower had taught him that everyone, no matter their size, could make the world a more beautiful place. And from that day on, Gus continued his travels, but he never forgot the lesson of the tiny flower, that even the smallest among us can have the biggest hearts.